I've never had an art subscription. So when MuseKit said, did I want to have a go? Well, I jumped at the chance. The idea of having a box of surprises land on your doorstep every month is rather lovely. So what I'm going to do, we'll open this, see what's inside. Then we'll work out whether we think this is value for money. We'll look at some pros and cons, and I'll have a go at whatever this project is. First things first, MuseKits used to be called Smart Art Box. They were founded in 2014, so they've been around a long time. And they say it brings inspiration to your doorstep. First week of every month that you subscribe to, you get a box of goodies. The box of goodies contains full-size medium and art materials, and they say that's enough for you to do a project every week. Enough of the talking, let's open it. If I can work out how we do that. Yes, I can. Oh, this is exciting. So, nice bit of packaging. What have we got? So it's still branded as Smart Art. That leaflet tells you about project, a bit about the background. There's a project for you to do, 2 projects for you to do, and some tips. We'll come on to that. So let's pop that there. We've got a watercolour pad, which is A5. Let's just have a look for those who don't work in centimetres. So that's almost 6, well, 5 and a bit by 8 and a bit. I presume that's made in China. Doesn't say. 20 sheets, £140, acid-free, cold pressed. A little easel. What fun. So you can display your masterpieces, presumably. Oh, well, they've got me now, haven't they? I've got a lollipop. So MuseKits are based in California, but they do send kits all around the world. So what have we got here? We've got a palette. Have a look, open that up. We've got a brush set. We've got some Pebeo drawing gum, which is lovely. Oh, look, just to prove I already use Pebeo drawing gum. Look, I've got a really big pot. And then we have got a set of gouache. I have never come across Savoir Faire as a brand. They are made in China as well. Oh, I think we've got a sticker. Let's have a look at this. Oh, I almost forgot the drawing gum. Oh, that's nice. So they give you some information about gouache. So gouache is an opaque watercolour paint, history of 600 years. So they take you through. They tell you a bit about Savoir Faire. So we've already spotted that's Chinese. And then there's some nice information about World Watercolour Month, which isn't till July. That's interesting. Maybe this is an old kit because that is July 22. And therefore, right, that makes sense about the branding being Smart Art. I think they very kindly have sent me a kit that is watercolour based because they know that's what my interest is. Right? But each month it is different. So they send a surface, brushes, palettes and all sorts so that you don't have to find anything. Again, this is interesting. So they tell you what they've sent and they put a monetary price by it. So they say that the gouache is $18.95, Pebeo drawing gum, etc. If we do a quick bit of maths, that adds up to $65, give or take. Each month the Muse box costs $49.95, so $50 to subscribe to. Domestic postage in America is $5 and international is $15. So they do post everywhere in the world. That box would cost $65 to turn $65 to turn up on your doorstep, and all this inside costs $65. Not like you're getting a huge saving, but you're not being overcharged for the convenience of it turning up on your doorstep. $65 is about £52, and that would include your postage to the UK. So it's certainly not cheap. It doesn't look like you're being overcharged for what's in there. And you get a lollipop. The project is about using masking fluid. Then there is a project about painting cacti. Give you some hints and tips. There are some more prompts. You've got one for each week. You don't need to follow all of the prompts in order or week to week. Just be sure to upload and tag us all 4 by the end of the month to earn your Peacock points. I have no idea what a Peacock point is. I better find that out, hadn't I? 500 Peacock points when you complete all 4 prompts within the month. That's $5 off. Oh, that's nice. So they're really encouraging you to use it. And that's a good thing, because I think just about every artist I know has a cupboard of unused art materials. You know, the stuff that you bought on a whim and got round to using. So they're encouraging you to really have a go so that you get money off the next month. I like that. Best thing I can do now is have a little play and see what the quality's like. Right, I'm going to open everything. Let's have a look. We've got an artist's brush set for oil colour, watercolour and acrylic colour. Makes me a little bit suspicious. Generally, brushes you use for oils are totally different from those that you use from watercolour. So, never mind. Let's not be fussy. Can't get them out. Only that one's got a little protector. Just a top tip, if you're getting new brushes and they come with these little protectors, just take them off and throw them away. Don't be tempted that when you finish with your brushes think, oh, I'll protect them and put it back on. Because what happens is that you push it back on. This is hard at the moment because it's been dipped in probably gum arabic after it's been made. And you'll just, once it's soft, the danger is that you will catch the little edge hairs, push them back and break them. So just chuck that away. So they are hard. All you have to do is just rinse that off in water to soften them up. This is the little... I'm being pathetic. Ah, yes, there we go. We've got through the plastic. Well, there you go. Just a sweet little easel. Might be quite useful for me when I'm doing an art fair or something. Let's get into the watercolour pad, see if I can do that. 20 sheets, it's got a very regular pattern to it. We'll see how that works. 10mm tubes, and we've got just a basic range of colours. The primaries, nice to see we've got a sienna and then black or white. Yeah, there's a little brush in there, which I certainly wouldn't have high hopes of. Might actually be handy for using with the masking fluid maybe. And then we've got a palette. Okay, so you've got some nice deep wells. You've got a thumb hole so you can hold it. You've got some mixing areas. Before I have a go with any of the projects, I thought I would just see what these colours are like on the paper, see how they thin out and become more watercolour. I've taken a piece of paper out of that pad and I've drawn 10 boxes. The reason I've got thick black lines there is to see how opaque these are. I'm going to start with some yellow, absolutely straight out of the tube, and see how it works there. So that's full fat. I'm going to put some full fat here, but then I'm going to start adding more and more water. That's quite a pretty colour, isn't it? Until we get right down to sort of really dirty water at the bottom. So we've gone from full fat at the top and thinning out, and you can see it doesn't totally cover the black line there, but really obscures it, and then it does thin out to become like watercolour. So I'm going to do that with all of the paints, just so I've got some idea of what the colours look like, and whether they change colour as they dry. That's nice to know. So rather than making you watch all this, I will carry on and come back at the end. Well, that's quite a pleasant surprise. We've got some pretty good opacity here Of course you can see through the yellow a bit. The orange is the most transparent, but even the white has managed to cover that line up pretty well. And it does thin out to a very washy watercolour type effect here. And even the blue seems to be granulating a bit, which is what you'd expect with French ultramarine watercolour. I just want to test how easy it is to lift the colour, and I'm going to use that little short flat brush. It's damp and clean, and just see how much of that colour I can get off. They do stain the paper to a certain extent. I'm just going to use a little bit of magic eraser, which I'll dampen, squeeze out, and then just go across and see how much I can lift off by being a little bit rougher. What I'm noticing is that the paper is pilling up a little. It's really worth having a little play and experiment when you're trying a new medium, just to see what it's going to do so you don't get any nasty surprises. Well, enough of the play. Oh, did you see I put those in there? So let's have a go at one of the projects, and we'll use the masking fluid. I'm going to follow their steps, but obviously the sort of person I am, I'm going to do my own thing as well. And they suggest not using these brushes for your masking fluid because they are likely to get gummed up. However, my top tip is if you make a strong solution of dish soap and coat your brush, you can then dip it in your masking fluid and it will not stick to your brush. So I am actually going to use the proper brushes, because I have to say that the brush that came with the gouache is not very nice at all. Let's do some leaf shapes. So to do leaf shapes, you can point, push down, pull along and lift up, point, pull and lift up, and it will give you a natural leaf shape. Let's get some sort of stem in there. A bit of splatter might be quite fun. So we could just put some of that masking fluid on a brush and then tap it. When you're finished, rinse off your brush properly and then just ordinary water and we should be fine. You need to let that dry totally, and then, as they say, allow it to fully dry, and then you can paint the background and go as wild as you like with your colours, because the shape of your leaves are protected. It's stripes in there, green and yellow stripes in their example. I think it might be fun to explore the sort of wet in wet possibilities of this gouache and see what it does. So I'm going to wet the whole of the paper, and I'm just going to use some sort of sunset colours. Yellows, orange and those reds, and let them mingle and mix on the paper. If you'd like a bit of spatter, you could just load up your brush and then tap it. This is totally dry now, and we could just take the masking fluid off, which is what they've done in their demonstration. But what I thought would be fun is to do another layer of masking fluid and get sort of a double image. So let's see how that works. I am a little concerned because I don't know the qualities of this paper, and it could be, of course, that it just will fall to pieces. We'll let this dry and then put a little bit more of a wash over the back to make the whole of the background darker. Peel it off and see what happens. So let's start by carefully peeling off the paper. If your masking tape starts to stick as you peel it off, just use a hairdryer on it to warm it up and it should come off a little easier. Simply peel off gently all that masking fluid you put on. Just rub with your finger like this. I found the masking fluid quite difficult to get off this paper, I must say, and I did notice that it tore in a couple of places. Well, I think we've given this Muse kit a really good going over. We've tested out all the materials, we've tried all the equipment, we had a go at one of the exercises, and the only thing that remains to do is for me to eat my lollipop, which I shall do later. So what's my overall opinion? Well, in terms of materials and so forth, the only thing I didn't like was the paper. It did rip as I took the masking fluid off, and it did pill up as I tried to lift colour. So didn't think too much to that. Everything else was up to the job. Is this right for you? You've already got some experience painting and crafting. Probably not. You can just go to a shop and choose something and have a go. You've probably got the confidence to do that. If you don't have that confidence, or you just like surprises and trying something new, you're wanting to experiment, then it's lovely. There's an online community you can be part of. You've got prompts for every week. It will get you going. The other thing I think this would be absolutely lovely for is as a gift. You can go and look through their back catalogue, pick one of the previous boxes and get it sent to someone, or do a subscription and give someone a surprise. And I think that would be a really nice way of using this.